I choose myself. Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. I'm going to wait and let a couple people will come into the live first just to make sure y'all can hear me because I don't want to have a recap of last Sunday where I had to do the live twice because the first live was completely silent. For some reason, it was completely muted, and I don't understand how. So yeah, I'm gonna give people a second to come into the live. Whoever comes into the live, please let me know if you can hear me, if my sound is working. So yeah. I love myself. I choose myself. I know if this is your first time watching me, you're probably like, this girl is weird as hell. Yeah, I am a little weird, but I'm also kind of awkward because really, believe it or not, I am an introvert. Even though I come on here and do these lives, I low key be terrified because I'm really an introvert. So I'm like, God, why did you give me this purpose? Why did you give me, of all people, this purpose? It doesn't make sense. But here I am being obedient. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the message. Whoever comes into the live, please let me know if you can hear me, if my sound is on. Oh, hi. Hi. I see a few people saying hi. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I don't want to start the message until you guys let me know if my sound is on. You are beautiful. Thank you. We can hear you. Yay. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the message. Choose yourself or lose yourself. It sounds so simple, but it's really so deep. A lot of times we hear self love and put yourself first, but a lot of people don't. Even though consciously they know they should, a lot of people don't put themselves first. And a lot of people don't truly love themselves. Well, why is that? Well, there's a number of reasons. But the best way for me to break down all of those reasons is to use myself as an example. I was birthed to teenage parents. When I was born, my mom was 15 and my dad was only 14 going on 15. So they were pretty much kids when they had me. Prior to them having me, obviously they had a life of their own. They had their own childhood. They had their own upbringing. And unfortunately, neither of them had the best upbringing. And because of that, their trauma was passed on to me. And my dad wasn't really in my life. But the little bit of times he was around and present, he caused more harm than good. When I was 3, he molested me. And even though my mom was technically present, she wasn't really mentally present. And a lot of times she was physically gone because she was a single mom of 3 kids. And I was the oldest. So I was pretty much like the substitute mom. I was like the second mom. And I pretty much had to raise my 2 younger brothers. And it always seemed like my mom was angry. Like, I'm gonna be real. When I was a kid, I was like, damn, does my mom hate us? Like, I feel like we're such a burden to her. Like, she's always angry. And be like me having the understanding that I have now, I realized the only reason she was like that was because she was stressed. She was a single mom of 3 kids by the age of 25. She had 3 kids. I'm 32 and I can't even imagine being a single mom to 1 kid. So now I give my mom grace. But when I was a child, I felt like I wasn't wanted by either of my parents, by my dad and by my mom, because my dad was in and out of my life. And like I said, when he was around, like he was on some perverted stuff. And then it's like my mom, she mentally she was somewhere else. I, like it always seemed like she was trying to escape. And I felt that because here's the thing, kids are not stupid. Kids can pick up on things, kids can sense things, kids can feel things. So just imagine you being a child and feeling like neither of your parents want you. Neither of your parents really give you the attention and time that you need from them. And that played a role in my romantic relationships and even my friendships. I was always wanting somebody to choose me. I always wanted a man to choose me or a boy. Because, like I said, it was like that even as a kid. Always, if I liked a specific guy and he didn't feel the same, that would crush me, especially if I saw that he liked another girl. And like I said, I was a kid. I was in elementary and middle school thinking like this. And that continued all the way up into my 20s. Really, I didn't overcome that and I really didn't break that cycle and I really didn't I didn't really break free from that mentality probably until like 3 years ago. So I had to do a lot of work on myself. But when I was a kid and when I was a teenager and even in my early 20s, I was always trying to get chose. Like I was my worth was dependent on a man, whether or not a man wanted me. My self-worth came from whether or not the man that I wanted chose me. Even when it came to friendships, I always wanted to fit in. I always wanted to be accepted, which to an extent is normal because as humans, we're social creatures by nature. But at the same time, it was to a point where I would conform to fit into a certain group. I would conform and try to fit in and be how I thought they wanted me to be. Just because I wanted to, just because it's like in relationships and with friendships, I needed that validation. I was always seeking validation outside of myself and outside of God. And really, me seeking validation in relationships and even friendships, that was because I was subconsciously trying to get the attention that I never got from my parents. Give me 1 second. My mouth is dry. Oh, sorry. I needed a little brief intermission. But back to what I was saying. But yeah, basically, I spent most of my life trying because even though I tried, I was never good at it. As much as I tried to conform, I was never able to. I was never able to keep it up. Anytime I would try to conform to get people to like me or to get a guy to want me, it never lasted. Like I was never able to fully conform, but I always tried. Sorry. Uh, Oh, yeah. But me always trying to conform in order to be accepted, that made me lose myself because I wasn't being myself. I was suppressing who I really was and I wasn't accepting who I really was. And I really wasn't being the woman God created me to be. That was another reason why it was hard for me to choose myself because I didn't really like that version of myself. I didn't really like how I was, but I didn't understand why I was the way I was. Because even though I'm saying all this now, at the time, I didn't realize any of this. I wasn't aware of any of this. I was just lost in the sauce. And I wasn't really walking in my light because, like I said, I was too busy trying to be somebody else, trying to conform instead of being who God called me to be. Here's the thing: if you're quirky, be quirky. If you're goofy, be goofy. If you're playful and childlike and you have a big imagination, be that. Walk in that. If you're quiet and you're low key and you don't really want to be friends with a bunch of people and be super social, if that's really who you are, be that. Because that's how God made you. If God wanted us all to be the same, He wouldn't have given us so many different personalities and layers. No, no two humans are exactly alike. 100%. No two humans are exactly alike. 100% as far as the personality. And that's by design. God made all of us unique for a reason because we all have different gifts. So if you're trying to conform in order to be accepted, in order to get somebody to like you or choose you, that's disrespectful to God. That's disrespectful to God because God made you for a reason. And here's the thing: you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And you have to be okay with that. I'm going to be real. I'm such a friendly and loving and welcoming person. It does kind of hurt my feelings when somebody doesn't like me just for me being myself. But at the same time, I choose myself. These days, I choose myself every single day in every single way. I choose myself no matter who doesn't choose me, no matter who doesn't love me, no matter who doesn't like me. I like me. I love me. I choose me every day. And it's like you have to have the courage to show up as your authentic self everywhere you go, whoever you interact with, and be okay with some people loving it and some people hating it. You got to be okay with that and walk in who you fully walk in who God has called you to be, regardless of who doesn't like it. Because here's the thing: no matter what you try to, no matter what you try to conform to, nobody, there will never, everybody is not going to like you. No matter how much you try to conform, guess what? You can conform to a specific version and get a certain group of people to like you. But guess what? There's always going to be somebody else who doesn't like you. People hated Jesus, and Jesus was perfect. So you're not the exception. And that's one thing you have to make peace with. That's one thing you have to make peace with. Not everybody's going to like you. So you might as well just be yourself because even if you conform, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like you. And you just have to make peace with that. You just have to make peace with the fact everybody is not going to see your worth. But like I said, you have to choose yourself regardless. And as a human, we have feelings. We're sensitive creatures, whether we want to admit it or not. So let's say you are attracted to somebody. You're interested in somebody, but the feeling isn't mutual. Yes, it's human for that to hurt your feelings and for it to sting a little bit. But at the same time, you have to dust yourself off and keep it moving. And you have to choose yourself. And just instead of being like, oh, why didn't this person want me? Why did this person choose me? Just say, hey, that if that was the person God had for me, they would have seen my worth and they would have seen my value. But because they didn't, that's okay. That just means that wasn't the person God had for me. I don't see it as rejection. I see it as protection because God knows what's best for you. So why would you want somebody that don't want you? And also you shouldn't let it affect your self-esteem or be like, "Oh, well why didn't they like me? Why didn't they choose me?" Just accept the fact that that wasn't your person and don't take it personal. Really look at it as a blessing. Because don't you want the person God has for you? Because you might think you want a specific person, but if they don't feel the same, guess what? That's not the person God has for you. But He has somebody for you. So it's like, it's not the end of the world, even when it comes to friendships. You wanted to be friends with certain people. There was people I used to really want to be friends with. But now I realize, whenever they didn't match my energy, it will hurt my feelings. But then I realized, Kyla, 9 times out of 10, you were not equally yoked with those people. 9 times out of 10, God did you a favor by them not matching your energy and making an effort to build a friendship. Take it as a blessing in disguise. And instead of letting it affect your self esteem and how you view yourself and how you feel about yourself. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you guys so much. If this message spoke to you, please make sure you like it and please make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.